So, luckily, it's a little bit hot. It's funny that like after getting a haircut and like changing how I look, I feel like I look super older. I look way older than I'm supposed to be. And I got this beard, bro. Yeah, I had this one thought today going into so I was supposed to work twice. What I find beautiful about when you go on this journey, it's like this faith walk, this faith journey of like, hey, I'm just gonna work on me and do exactly what I said I'm gonna do. The difference that I'm seeing is that when people say, yeah, it was God, that's it. When you decide to finally say, you know what, I'm walking with God, that's it. I'm not in the world of saying I'm trusting myself. Now, what does this mean, right? Let's say you're in finance, or let's just say you're an entrepreneur, right? And a lot of athletes understand this. When you play a sport like football, basketball, you have nobody but to lean on God. Because in one situation, you can make one wrong move, season-ending career, boom, done for the season, right? So who am I going to lean on for me to bring my talent, my skills, my effort? God. So when you look at football players and they say, or baseball players, or so, anyone, they will say in sports, to be like, I owe it all to God, right? I owe it all to God. And it's easier to say that. I used to think it was easier to say, because I'm in sports, you can say it, but if you're in a different field, you can't say it. So I used to say this, right? In fashion, I got to a point where I'm like, damn, there's no God in this. Fact. There's nobody that says, yo, I represent God in my efforts. I stopped being this person because I wasn't in a field that I was where God is more prevalent, right? Football and being an athlete is more prevalent than most things. But what I want to say is that God is showing me, just imagine you're living your day to day, and God is like, do you not believe that I can't do the most miraculous things right now? The craziest things that you can ever think of are not impossible. This is the biggest lesson that I've learned today. Is you're small things that you worry about, and there's big things that you worry about. God looks at both of those things as small things to him. So when we think about the concept of like, oh, we gotta be, when you're in prayer time, you gotta ask God for the biggest things. Do you think it's not bigger? Do you think it's not like that thing is very small to him? So when we have these desires on our hearts and we have these phrases of like, yo, I want to do this, or I'm trying to achieve this, it's like you got to really think about it. Is this as big as you can think about? Because God thinks bigger for our lives. This is the most important thing. God has bigger for our lives. He has bigger for your life. And as I'm walking on this journey, yes, I love the fact that all these videos, you see the emotion, you see who I am, you see how I'm coming from, you see the movements that I'm making. The most important thing is that I'm posting and I'm letting you guys understand this is what it looks like, and not being fearful of how it should or how it's supposed to look like. I'm not scared, but it's the fact that there's movement. When you fully trust in God, to know that those things that you thought you couldn't do, those things that you thought that was impossible, become possible. I know, I even from today, like I already knew this, but I already knew like all the things that I ever thought in my mind, like the new car, the new crib, the student loans, all these different things, all those things are already finished. They're already done. It's already there. So my confidence has to be in doing what I have to do day to day, and showing up every day, and showing up better than the last hour, better than the last 30 minutes, better than the last 10 minutes, better than the last minute, better than the last 30 seconds, better than the last millisecond. Showing up every single moment. And that's something that you just have to be able to not be afraid to do. But I give all glory be to God, because what's about to happen in my life isn't all a fluke. Like working behind the scenes and not and being like, damn, I want to show out, I want to have the cars, I want to have the girls, but working and just saying, yo, you know what, I'm gonna do diligence, I'm a CEO. Ultimately I am. How I care for people, how I care for my my businesses, you know, my expression as an artist is huge. I'm not like, I just know once the deals are done and moving to the next realm, it only gets understanding that this is what God has for me. So that's my 2 cents.